So last week I went out on a work road trip. My mum lives in a town, or she works and lives in a town about 5 hours north of where I live, which is called Pentax. My dad spends a lot of time between here and there, and we had some jobs that we had to do up there, so we decided to make a road trip of it. On the drive up, Dad knew of a spot that we could go to take photos. It was an abandoned house with some canola fields behind it. I was super excited to get there and check it out. So on this trip I brought with me my Pentax 6.7 with the 105mm and the 55mm, and my Minolta CLE with the 28mm and the 40mm. And I brought a variety of different films. After we stopped off at the abandoned house, we made a couple more stops before we got into town. The first place was a little lake on the road when you come in, so we stopped off there to take a couple of photos. And then the other place was a heritage house which had a lot of historical things from around the farming and everything that goes on there. So being a film photographer, I could not resist taking some photos of some old rusted out cars. So Pentax is a small country town about 5 hours north of where I live and a bit inland. So the main things that happen there are wheat farming and iron ore mining. So on the first night, or after the first day of work, we decided to go out in the afternoon to get a few photos, and we just sort of explored different farm areas and things around relatively close to town, as we didn't want to go too far away, because when you're driving back at dusk there are heaps of kangaroos and they will jump in front of your car and ruin your day. So we didn't like driving around at dusk or dawn and doing that sort of stuff. On the second day after work, we decided to go out to a national park lookout sort of area. On the way out there, we took a few photos of farms and different things on the way that we saw. And And then when we went out there, we went up to the lookout and took a few photos on the way out there. One of the things that I wanted to try and capture was the sort of rugged Australian outback sort of area. I've always struggled to do this because I think the colors are a bit hard to capture. They're always really bright red when you're out in areas like this because of the really mineral rich soil. It's so red. And then the trees, there's no real geometric shapes. Everything grows really crazy and really wild, and I've always found it a really difficult thing to shoot. So it was a good challenge for me to try and do some photos of this. I'm not sure how well I did or didn't do, but anyway, it was good fun.
Overflow. I don't really know what's on, 'cause I'm a restless.
On the third day, we decided to head out to a town which was just across, maybe 40-minute drive from where we were. On the way out, I wanted to get some shots of the wheat fields with a nice tree sitting there in the middle and try to get some negative space and things going on there. I got a few shots that I kind of like. And then on the way out to the next town, there was this really cool tractor or bulldozer thing, which is sat on the side of the road just for ornamental reasons to look cool. We were a little bit early because normally there's wildflowers growing everywhere around it, but we were a little bit early for the wildflowers when we went this time. So unfortunately it doesn't look as good as it possibly could do. That and being that I took the shot during the middle of the day, so the light is kind of average. I'm definitely going to be heading up again soon, and I'm going to try and get another really nice photo of that tractor. I really like it. So hopefully the skies will be good and there'll be lots more wildflowers when I do that. On the start of this trip, we'd been pretty blessed with weather. It was just partly cloudy, little bits of interest in the sky. But on about the fourth day, the weather really started to turn for the worse. It got really overcast, and I decided to just put a roll in my Minolta CLE and walk around town and take some photos there. On the weekend, we went out to a farm for a little talk thing and took some photos at one of the farmhouses out there. And then after this, I loaded a roll of HP5 into the Minolta CLE, and we went up to a spooky kind of hill where there must be some wild dogs living and hunting sheep, because there was a lot of bones and other things like that around. The sun had come out and it was very bright on this day, so that wasn't too bad. It kind of gave a nice gritty look to the film. And I also developed and scanned this film myself for the first time in a long time, so it's been good fun getting back into that. So expect a lot more black and white photography, because I'll be shooting a lot of 35mm black and white.
Very good. After everyone's got one.
this day when the light got a bit nicer, we decided to do a little hunt for wildflowers. As I said before, the wildflowers really go crazy in this area, but we were about a week or two too early on this trip. So we found a couple of little patches and tried to make it work for photos. I shot some Lomography 800 with the Pentax 6.7 for these ones. I think they turned out all right, but I would really love there to be more wildflowers next time I go. And then I just finished off that roll of Lomo 800, taking some photos of the church and the sign at the entrance to town. Overall, it was a pretty good trip. I'll be definitely going back very shortly. So when this video comes out, I'll probably be back up there taking a bunch of photos and trying to really get into the wildflowers. They'll be going crazy when I'm up there. It looks really cool looking into this bush that looks absolutely desolate and crazy with all these crazy trees. And then there's just this sea of pink or white because there's flowers everywhere. It really looks pretty cool. So I'm very excited about that. There's also, we've learned from people in the town that there's an abandoned town not too far away. So we're gonna do a road trip out to there to take a bunch of photos of the abandoned town. So stay tuned for that. There'll be a whole nother video out here, as well as these last photos of the church, because we know people in the town. We're able to actually go into the church and take some photos inside next time we're there. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this little video. Let me know what your favorite photos were down below, and if you found this video enjoyable, please give it a like and consider subscribing. I'll see you on the next one. Got the results for the camera giveaway. So we got, I don't know how to say this, but Waylles, something like that. I'll put the name up on the screen, and then I'll comment on their comment and get the details to send that camera out. So I'm actually back up in Prendra again now, so hopefully we'll be doing a lot more photos, going out a bit more later in the afternoon and early morning and trying to get some nice light. Scoped out a few spots that we want to take photos at, and yeah, expect another video coming soon.